Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Jason. I'm Technical Service Manager here with Leary Company. Today, I'm going to give you some training and a tutorial on our Monet user interface, basically our gluing and detection software. So I'm going to go to the very first lower left icon here. And when you touch the icon in any of the icons in this lower blue tray, it will highlight green to tell you what screen you're actually on. And at the top of the screen, it'll actually tell you the name of it. So I'm right now in the station selection screen. And the station selection screen is basically the screen I would go to enable or disable glue valves. So this is where I turn on or off stations. So on the right side of my carton template here, you can see all of my 8 gluing and detection stations. And just below in the lower left corner of the carton template, I have what's called the inventory icon. When I go into the inventory icon, I can see all of my available stations on the Leary system. And the way your systems are configured, we only really have set up 8 gluing and detection stations. And this is identified as a gluing and detection station because of the symbol. So the symbol shows this little temperature indicator. The temperature indicator tells me that that's a hot melt glue valve. And just below it, I can see there's a nozzle that's supposed to represent glue extruding from the nozzle. And right to the left of it, just to the left of that, is a camera or an inspection sensor. This tells me that it's a hot melt gluing and detection icon. So, and I have a total of 8 of these. If I wanted to turn any of these off, I simply touch it, and it's going to ask for your password, which is your manager level. It doesn't have to have the manager level password assigned to it. That's by choice if you choose to assign the manager password to it. Once you put your password in once, it won't keep asking you for the password. So once you enter it one time and you're within the same screen, you can turn on or off stations at will. Once I leave this screen or I go home, and then I go back to that station selection page, it will ask me for that password again to turn the stations back on. So as long as you stay on the screen, it doesn't keep asking for the password. If you leave the screen and end up home, it will require the password again. So to minimize this inventory icon, I just touch anywhere outside of this darker kind of blue area that shows all my station icons. If I just touch anywhere outside of it, that will minimize the inventory menu. So now you can see I only have valves 1, 2, and 3 turned on. And at the bottom of the screen, it also only shows valves 1, 2, and 3. So I only have access to those 3 stations because that's all I have currently turned on. So I'll go ahead and turn all of our stations back on. And that's really it, guys. There's really not too much more to what you can do with the station selection screen. It's really adding or removing stations for your job. So again, to minimize the inventory menu, I just touch outside of it, and now I can see all 8 of my hot melt gluing and detection stations enabled. Any questions on the station selection menu? Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Good. All right. Okay. All right, so that was the first. And just for reference, whenever you're looking at these icons at the bottom, you'll always see these first 3 in the same order. So it's always going to be station selection. The next one is what we call trigger distances. And the third one is carton dimensions. So it'll always be these first 3 in the same order. After these first 3, it's whatever you turn on. So here's my hot melt gluing and detection. And then your pressure screens always show up at the end. So again, if I go to turn all of my stations off, now I just have a counting system. I don't have a gluing system. Now you can see down in this bottom tray here, I only have my station selection menu, my trigger distances menu, my carton dimensions menu, and then my 2 pressure, hot melt pressure tanks for controlling pressure. Okay, so these icons will always be at the bottom here. Even if you turn all of your stations off, you still have these setup icons.